What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So undefeated, 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO, World Boxing Organization welterweight world champion, who is widely considered by many to be the #1 best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, in Terence Crawford, with a record of 39 wins, no losses, no draw, 30 big wins by way of knockout. 35 years of age, 5'8", with a 74-inch arm reach. He tells the fans, he tells the boxing world that in this massive, mega, undisputed welterweight showdown between himself and undefeated, unified 3-belt WBA, WBC, IBF welterweight world champion superstar boxer, who is widely considered by many to be top 2, if not the #1, definitely top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, and Errol the True Spence Jr., who holds a record of 28 wins, no losses, no draw, 22 big wins by way of knockout, 33 years of age, 5'9.5", with a 72-inch arm reach, that they have to choose a side. He tells the boxing world, you can't be with me, you can't be with him, you can't be a fence rider, right? You're going to have to choose a side on this one. Now, that has caused a massive division within the sport of boxing, fans, media, boxers, choosing a side, because this is a massive fight. They're both in the prime of their careers. They're both considered top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, regardless of what order you chose to put them in. It's for all the marbles. It's for undisputed. There's never been a 4 undisputed major sanction belt holder that holds all 4 belts in the sport of boxing. There has never been that. There has been, the last one was Zab Judah, who was a retired multi-division world champion and a Hall of Famer. Zab Judah is the last undisputed welterweight world champion, and it was the 3-belt era. The WBO wasn't, the World Boxing Organization wasn't recognized as one of the major sanction belts, which is it's ironic because that's the belt that Terence Crawford holds. In the past, the WBA, WBC, and the IBF will be considered the undisputed champion, as Zab Judah was considered the undisputed champion in his era. Okay, so Errol Spence would actually be considered the undisputed champion right now if this was yesteryear. But nonetheless, the WBO has now become one of the major sanction belts, and you have to hold the WBO to be considered the undisputed champion. And so Terence Crawford belt, it needs to be collected by Errol Spence to be considered an undisputed champion. So with that said, Errol Spence is eager to make the fight. Terence Crawford is eager to make the fight. So Terence Crawford is telling the fans, there's no fence riding, right? You're going to choose a side. You're either going to be on my side or you're going to be on his side for this one. Me personally, I don't like that mindset as far as the fans go, right? Because, it's the sport of boxing. And if you're not a fan of Terence Crawford, or you're not a fan of Errol Spence, or you're just a fan of the sport of boxing overall, you shouldn't have to choose a side, okay? You should just want to see the best fight the best. And in this case, it is a case of where we're going to have the absolute best to fight the best. Now, I know April 22nd, this past April 22nd, Las Vegas, Nevada, at the T-Mobile Arena, we had a massive showdown with Gervonta Tank Davis and King Ryan Garcia. And it did some major numbers, 1.2 to 1.4 million pay-per-view buys, right? But that was more of a popularity contest. No slight to any one of those fighters, but Gervonta Tank Davis is accomplished. He's a 3-division champion. He simultaneously held the WBA super title at super featherweight, the WBA regular title at lightweight and junior welterweight. He also held the IBF super title at super featherweight as well. So he was well accomplished, or he is well accomplished within the sport of boxing. Ryan Garcia is not that. Ryan Garcia has never won a world title, and he's actually never even fought for a world title. So with that said, Ryan Garcia's biggest win was against Olympic gold medalist, lightweight, British star title contender Luke Campbell, who never won a world title. And his other big fight was Javier Fortuna, who was a multi-time world champion, but he was way past it, and he was a shell of himself. But Ryan Garcia has a massive following. Ryan Garcia has arguably a bigger following than Gervonta Tank Davis outside the sport of boxing. He has 9 million Instagram followers. He has Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok followers. So he's well over 10 million social media followers. And he's known for not what he does in the sport of boxing, but for what he's done outside the sport of boxing. Branding himself, branding his name, okay? And you brought those two entities together, the popularity of Ryan Garcia, the popularity of Gervonta Tank Davis, who definitely has a big popularity and a big following, but for his accomplishments in the sport of boxing. You bring those two together, and it made for a massive fight. But as far as accomplishments and as far as legacy and as far as competitive wise, again, Ryan Garcia hadn't proved it. He was inexperienced, and it showed up big. In this case, Errol Spence is very experienced. He went to the UK. He beat former IBF welterweight world champion, British superstar boxer Special K Kell Brook in the UK for his first title opportunity, and he stopped him in the 11th round. Then he came back. He fought 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Mikey Garcia, who's a Hall of Famer. Then he fought Lamont Peterson, who's a former world champion and a possible Hall of Famer on the brink of being a Hall of Famer. Then he fought against, Showtime Sean Porter. Sean Porter is a 2-time welterweight world champion, retired future Hall of Famer. Then he also beat Yordenis Ugas in a unification bout. So he unified against Sean Porter. He unified against Yordenis Ugas, who just came off of a massive victory over Manny Pacquiao when he was the massive underdog, and he dominated Manny Pacquiao. Then he came and he beat 2-division world champion Puerto Rican superstar boxer Danny Swift Garcia. So he dominated Danny Swift Garcia. So these are the names that Errol Spence has beaten, okay? And then when it comes to Terence Crawford, he's undisputed at junior welterweight. He went to the UK as well for his first title opportunity and beat Ricky Burns in the backyard, in Ricky Burns' backyard. He came back, he unified the belts at junior welterweight, becoming undisputed, the first undisputed champion since Jermaine Taylor did it when he beat Bernard Hopkins, right? And he became I believe the third 4 major sanction belt undisputed world champion in the history of the sport of boxing. So he's well accomplished. Then he came to the welterweight division. His first fight at the welterweight division against Jeff Horn. He beat Jeff Horn for his WBO title. So Terence Crawford is definitely accomplished, and so is Errol Spence. Not to mention, then they considered top 5 pound for pound best fighters in the world. Ryan Garcia was never considered top 15, 20 pound for pound best fighters in the world, okay? Just a lot of inexperience on the part of Ryan Garcia, a lot of lack of big fights on the part of Ryan Garcia. So when you put 2 of the top 5 best pound for pound fighters in the world, you put the fact that it's for all the marbles, all the belts are on the line. That speaks volumes, okay? That speaks volumes for this fight, for these fighters and their accomplishment. These are 2 guys that are surefire Hall of Famers. Errol Spence, a Hall of Famer. In my opinion, I think he's going to definitely be a Hall of Famer. Just off his record right now, he beat Mikey Garcia, Danny Garcia, Lamont Peterson, Kell Brook, Chris Algieri, Yordenis Ugas, Sean Porter. He beat and unified the belts, right? So he's beaten some big names, and he's not done. So I think that these are 2 Hall of Famers that we have, that we are bearing witness into, and their accomplishments is huge. So this makes for the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. It may not live up to the numbers. It may not do 1.2 to 1.4 million pay-per-view buys, and it's definitely lost some of its luster because it's being dragged out at this point. But this is just a hint that the fight is going to be announced. There's reports that it could take place in July. I know people saying in June, but there's no way this fight. We are already in May, the first weekend in May, and this fight has not been announced. There's no way, impossible. I see this fight happening in June, but there's reports that it could take place July 12th. There's reports that it could be July 22nd. So we just have to wait and see when it actually takes place. But as far as choosing a side, I don't believe that fans, nor the media, nor anybody should have to choose a side unless you are a relative or a family member or a team member or one of these fighters. If you're just a fan of the sport of boxing, you should definitely not have to choose a side. That's what's causing a major rift. But it also is, gaining a lot of attention for this fight. But this is a huge fight. I can't wait to see how it plays out. It's truly a 50-50 fight. Nobody actually knows who's actually going to win, okay? Because styles make fights, and their styles. Errol Spence's high work rate, physicality, big, strong southpaw. We saw that give Terence Crawford problems in the past, but he still won. And then Terence Crawford style, being versatile in that no man's land area, being a counter puncher, being a fighter that can switch from southpaw to orthodox, and has power in both hands. He has knocked out 11 of his last 12 or 12 of his last 13 opponents. So those things, it makes for the unknown. We don't know how this is going to play out, how it's going to work out. So it's very, very interesting. But let's see how it unfolds, and hopefully it gets announced soon. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. That's all I got for y'all, man. It's your boy Blue signing off. I'm gone. Peace.
Of Bumgarner, you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.